Hello and welcome to another edition of the Coach Steve LaPrad Show here at FDFootball.com. I'm the voice of the Patriots, your host, Richard Todd. Happy to be sitting here with the region champion coach as we head to the playoffs. And we're going to talk about the playoffs and the first round victory over Spring Valley. But let's talk for a second about this little piece of hardware here, Coach, because first time in Fort Dorchester history, undefeated season, you won the region. You start the beginning of the year in summer. And now here you are, you're holding this trophy in 11-0 in the regular season, and then just a great accomplishment for the Patriots this year.
It just shows we got just remarkable kids and remarkable coaches. I just make sure they get to practice on time, to be honest with you. These kids they've worked so hard in the off season and all year. I couldn't be proud. They deserve this. Of course, I'm sure every coach says the same thing, but to go, like I said, go 11-0 in anything. If you're undefeated in Tiddlywinks, you're pretty good. So for them to do that and to do it in the fashion they did, they kind of just wore everybody out in the whole region. So it's neat. That's one of a couple we want this year.
Absolutely, and you win the region, you go undefeated, and then you have another bye week because of the weather we had earlier this year with all the rain and flooding. How did you go into that? Because as you said, you're looking at a couple of other trophies. You're thinking of some other things. How do you get the team to say, that was great, put that behind you, and you had a bye week there before you go into the playoffs?
Well, I'm really worried about this game because of the bye week. Most people don't know. We played week 9. We were off week 10. We played week 11. Then we were off another week. So we've really played one game in 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks if you really look at it. So we weren't as sharp this week, and I really worried because of the Spring Valley, the kind of offense they ran, and then we were just, the kids were tired of practicing. They were ready to play. So
I think that was the question. People were wondering how that second bye week was going to shape things up. So the region championship trophy for the undefeated Patriots, the playoffs, Spring Valley coming to Bagwell Stadium. We'll talk about the game with Coach Steve LaPrad next. And welcome back to the Coach Steve LaPrad Show. I'm your host, Richard Todd, and it's time to talk about the playoffs. Spring Valley comes to town with a 6-5 record, taking on an 11-0 undefeated, second-seeded Fort Dorchester Patriot team. And let's talk about the first half because it was a competitive first half. Spring Valley got the ball and really put it down a good first drive, missed the extra point, but a 6-0 lead. What was the thinking on the sideline when the offense was really off the field a lot, didn't have a lot of possessions, but the defense really hung tough and kept that 6-0 game right there towards the end of the first half?
They did, and that's what you got to do. Championship teams do that. I mean, they came up with some stuff, and we were having trouble. We were a little confused on our blocking scheme, and they kind of stifled us a little bit there early, and I worried, like I told you, I worried about this game because they're the kind of team that keeps the ball, they control the ball, they're 3 yards.
Did you work a lot about their running game? The option looks like a very difficult thing to take on as a defense.
It is. It's very hard. A lot of you see Georgia Tech go up against Florida State, and you wonder how's Georgia Tech, beat Florida State or almost beat Florida State, and it's because of that option. These defensive players are used. They're fast. They're aggressive. And now they got to play assignment football. Now I got dive, I got quarterback, I got pitch, and it's tough.
You were thinking they were going to be rusty after the extra week off, but did that also help in preparation for that Spring Valley offense?
Well, the bad part is we didn't know who we were going to play the first off week. So, and I knew the worst thing we could do was prepare for 2 teams. That was a waste of time. Plus, our kids would be confused because there's a big difference between what Carolina Forest does and what Spring Valley does. So we just kind of hung in there and, sharpened up on some stuff. Offensively, we could do some things. But defensively, it was very, very tough. It was hard. It was a tough week. Then you got to come in here to find out who we're going to play. And then you got to come in here in 3 days.
But the defense really stepping up after a first quarter that Spring Valley really controlled the ball quite a bit. Second quarter, the defense really stepped up. And on the sideline, when you're thinking about your offense, do you have that feeling that it's just a matter of time? Because it seems like stopping Fort Dorchester for 4 quarters is a tough task, and that they did a good job, but I'm wondering what you were thinking about offensively as you got towards halftime.
Well, I really, I said, I didn't want to go in behind 6-0, but I said, we're going to go in, make some adjustments, and figure this thing out. Which we got there late and scored.
How big was that last score before the half to go up
That
7-6?
That was huge. Because we really didn't move the ball a whole lot on offense. Defense was on the field almost the whole first half. So, that helped us mentally because our offense knew going in we weren't playing an explosive offense like we normally do. But a lot of our problems was our blocking scheme, and Coach Steele and Coach Rafferty got in there and got the blocking scheme straight. And I think you saw when we came out, I mean, we just started running the ball, and then they tried to address the run, then we popped it deep on them. So, that's kind of what we do. That's how we play.
If you're a coach who's preparing it to take on the Fort Dorchester offense, you got a lot to worry about. 7-6 was the score for Dorchester at halftime in this first round playoff game against Spring Valley. We'll talk about the second half and the next playoff matchup coming up with Coach Steve LaPrad here at FDFootball.com. And welcome back with Coach Steve LaPrad. I'm Richard Todd. And so 7-6 at halftime, we were sitting up in the booth saying, you guys are probably having a serious talking to, probably with the offensive line. And so it really was more of a matter of schemes, blocking schemes, because for the second straight game, you come out and you really own the third quarter.
Yeah, and like I said, the coaches did a great job of adjustments. We did a couple little things on defense too, but they did a good job. And you got to take your hat off to our players. It's one thing being told what to do, but it's another thing taking that and doing it, and that's what they did, and that's why we're the team, and that's why we're 12-0 right now. These kids trust the coaches, we trust the kids. We know we can tell them what we need to get done, and they're going to give it their very best effort. And I've said all year, these kids play together, they play hard, and that's kind of what happened in the third quarter. We took the ball.
First drive of the third quarter, you went right down the field and scored. Datron James really busting some runs. The offensive line, as you mentioned, blocking schemes, opening it up between the tackles, moving down the field. I mean, the third quarter for the second straight game, the adjustments at halftime, and then really moving the ball and defensively stepping up and saying you're not going to move the ball on us.
I know, and like I said, I'm so proud of these guys because the coaches do a great job and the kids listen to them, and that's what it's all about. The trust between the coaching staff and the kids is a big thing this year.
Well, when you're running the ball with Datron James, and then you've got on who seems impossible to bring down sometimes, and then DeAndre Champagne, he had a great game. He let a few go through his hands, but he had 3 touchdowns and 5 catches, got over 100 yards. He's another tough one to stop for the Patriots offense.
Yeah, I think he's been the real difference for us. I mean, he's been steady all year, but you got Raekwon, you got to defend, and then you've got Adonicus, who's ran by everybody all year, and then of course you got DeAndre, and DeAndre's really stepped his game up. I mean, it about killed him when he missed those 2 passes. He was so upset at himself, and I told him, I said, hey man, listen, you're gonna get us a touchdown, get me a touchdown. So wasn't long, he took care of that.
After marching down the field with the first possession of the second half, an 85-yard touchdown bomb from DeCarrion Joyner to DeAndre Champagne, and you went up 28-6. We got to talk about the defense because we talk so much about your offensive weapons, and rightfully so, because it's a nightmare to prep if you're another coach. But defensively, that squad has stepped up throughout the season, and again until just the very end, a last-minute touchdown, a 2-point conversion, but 28-14 final score. Defense again having a great game.
They did. They played so well all like I said, the whole game, and it was tough for them this week. It was a tough team to prepare for, and something we don't see a whole lot of. And I was proud of them, and we got some of those guys out there toward the end of the game, because it's that time of year, and you got to try to stay as healthy as you can because everybody's getting nicked up right now. So we got some guys out, and, they did good, and then they gave up, the big play there and got scored on, which we kind of hated, but it's what it is.
Both sides of the ball, offense, defense, even special teams, it's a quality, complete team victory. 28-14 the final score. Fort Dorchester eliminates Spring Valley, and Fort Dorchester would take on the winner of Boiling Springs, Ashley Ridge. The game will be Friday night, November 27th, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So, Coach, as you head into Thanksgiving, a family holiday, you guys are going to have a lot of turkey, but you're going to have a lot of football on your mind as well. Because how do you treat a holiday week with the game the day after Thanksgiving?
Well, to be honest with you, every high school coach in America will tell you, if you're playing football at Thanksgiving, you've had a good year. And so, that's the big thing. And that's why I got the guys together after the game, kind of told them what our practice schedule was going to be, and this is a part that now the parents got to be all in, and grandma and granddad got to be all in, and it's tough, but that's what it is. We're going to be as successful as our fans, our parents, and our players and coaching staff. And it's been great so far. I know it's tough on parents sometimes, especially at Thanksgiving. I'm sure some plans or travel plans are going to have to be adjusted, but that's what makes it so special. And this is a one. This is a big chance for these guys and for the families. Our families, I see them, they're all in. We're good to go.
But it'll make the turkey taste a little bit better, Coach?
Yeah, turkey's going to be good. Dressing's going to be good. Everything's going to be good this Thanksgiving.
Well,
everybody's happier than my family, I can assure you that.
As Coach said, playing around Thanksgiving means you've had a good season. Playing into December, that's another thing, and we'll look forward towards that. But Friday night, November 27th at Bagwell Stadium, 7:30 kickoff, the quarterfinals of the state playoffs with your Fort Dorchester Patriots. Coach, happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations on a great season, and best of luck next Friday.
Okay.
And remember, keep in touch with the Patriots in the playoffs all throughout the postseason at fdfootball.com.
to the